Hey, it's MK, and I am here with another Kit Conspiracy layout for you guys today. I am still working with my Little Celebrations kit from 49 and Market, and I've added a couple little pieces as far as thickers and some laser cut pieces from One Perfect Day. So I've got a couple of different elements other than just the one Little Celebrations kit. So I've got all these little scraps that I've had on my desk for quite a while. I've kept these specific scraps together because I just really like the combination of the rose gold, the florals, and then of course that polka dot. So I thought I would add those into my layout for today as well, just to see if I can't use them all up. I'm also going to bring in the, see if I want to bring in which flowers, the ones from Little Celebrations or the ones from One Perfect Day. I've also got this piece here that is the bonus sheet that comes from the packaging from the Little Celebrations paper. And then from the solids pack, I picked out these two light pink pieces. They're dark on one side and light on the other, and I chose the lighter side just so that way I could do a little bit of stenciling. I didn't want to do a whole lot, but just a little bit to break up the solidness of this background. So I'm going to go ahead and cut off the branding strips, and then for this piece here, I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with it just yet. So I thought I'd bring in these scraps to see what I've got going on. My trimmer is over on the right. I do apologize for not bringing it into the camera, but I just cut the floral piece right in half, and then I'm going to take my longer of the two glitter pieces and cut that right in half as well. And then I cut the same exact size of this smaller glitter piece because I thought I wanted my piece to be this wide going all the way across. So, and again, I just really didn't know what I was doing at this point in time. So I was just making sure that what I had for the top, I have for the bottom as well. So this was a sketch that I drew in my little travel sketchbook quite a while ago. I'm not sure if I posted it on my social media or not, but usually when I have teeny tiny little bits of leftovers, I create a sketch in my book. And I usually do double sketches just so that way I have either two different sketches to choose from, one on, one or the other on both sides, or I have a double already ready to go. So that way I, depending on if I want a single, they're singles, or if I want a double, it's already doubled, if that makes any sense. But I take realistic items to create my sketch. Like I'll use washi tape, and I will use smaller stencils. I will use tiny little stars. Just anything that I see that would work in my album or not album, but in my sketch, because it's a tiny little sketch, but it won't be out of proportion, if that makes any sense. So anyways, that's where this sketch came from. And by the time that I ripped my little pieces from that packaging or from this pattern paper, I realized that my glitter paper is just a bit too thick. So I'm going to put the smaller pieces away and then cut the longer pieces in half again. So I have roughly 1/4 of an inch set of pieces of this glitter tape or glitter paper. And then also I'm going to rip the ends so that way they don't go all the way 12 by 12, if that makes sense. I just want the glitter paper to be on the ripped portion, but I don't need it to go all the way across. It's part of the design of it being not so perfect, right? And that's one of the things I love about sketches and scrapbooking and all this good stuff is you don't have to be perfect to do it. One of the things too is I didn't pay attention to the direction of my pink paper. So I've got one it has like in the solid paper, it has like a print that makes it look like it's almost fabric, but it's not really fabric. And so the fabric lines, one of them go up and down and the other one goes right straight across. But in the end, I don't notice it as much as when I first started playing around with this paper. I did also go a little too dark on one of my, when I first started blending into my stencil. And so hopefully I will be able to cover most of that up with my design. So I flipped my two pieces of paper. So I've got the darker side over on the right now, the darker of the stencil, so that way I can hopefully cover it up with all the elements. So the first thing I'm doing is I'm adding in my my ripped pieces and doing my layers, because I don't know where exactly I want all of my pieces. At first I thought I wanted my green, which again I just cut in half. At the bottom of that beautiful floral paper. That paper is from Minte, and I do not know where the green is from, you guys. I want to say that I remembered at the very beginning, but now I don't. So I didn't like the gap that was in between the ripped piece and now what is my gingham piece, because I didn't like the floral piece. So now I'm using the other side of that floral piece, and it is this beautiful gingham, and I feel like it brings out my pictures a lot more than just keeping floral on top of floral. Plus, you'll be able to see the embellishments more once I start adding them as well, because again, it was going to be floral on top of floral, and you would not have been able to see it. But I did fill in that little gap using my green piece instead of having my green underneath my gingham piece, right? So that's where it was supposed to go, and I really like where it ended up going. It was just filling in as you know, the gap between the gingham and my excuse me, and my ripped piece. So I've got that going on, and I really like that. And as you can see, I am ripping off my edges, but then I have to cut off some of this gingham. So now I have the gingham and the glitter still as scraps in my stash. I really was hoping, but it didn't work out. And I've got a lot of it. It's not like a little bit. So I've got a lot, but that's okay. Maybe I'll come up with another little smaller page. So I'm going to start adding in my photos now that I've got something going on. I'm going to have one photo on one side and 3 photos on the other side. And it is of my girls getting ready for homecoming. And so the one in red is my youngest daughter, and the one in blue is actually my youngest son's girlfriend. And so my youngest daughter, her dress did not show up in time. The dress that she ordered for this particular event, it did not show up in time. And so my youngest son's girlfriend took her under her wing and said, oh, well, let's go try on dresses at my house. So first they went to one of my daughter's girlfriend's house and tried on a bunch of her dresses that she had left over from a couple events. And they were okay, but in certain areas it made my daughter feel uncomfortable. So she wasn't fully, comfortable in those dresses. And so it's like, oh, well, then let's try on the dresses that my son's girlfriend had. And so she went over to her house, and then she was supposed to get dressed at the other friend's house. I know this is very confusing. She was supposed to get dressed at the other friend's house, but because the dress that she was trying on was at the girlfriend's house, my son's girlfriend's house, they decided to get dressed there. And they had my son's girlfriend's mom and her aunt to help her, help with the makeup and the hair and all this stuff. And the aunt had these fur shawls, and it was just perfect. They, because it was very, very cold, starting to get cold here in northeastern Nevada. And so the shawls were absolutely a perfect touch, kept the girls warm, and just worked out all the way around. It was really fabulous. They had fun getting dressed, getting their, hair and makeup ready, and just being plain silly at the time. I am still at my crop, so if my hands are doing really weird things, that's because I'm trying to have a conversation and continue cropping, scrapping at the same time. But yet I talk with my hands, you guys. I really do. Even now when I'm voiceovering, I'm sitting here cropping, explaining things with my hands, even though you can't see them. It's quite interesting. Like, why are your hands moving when nobody can see them? Because I think it makes the words come out faster. or or at least come out because, words are hard. They really are. So anyways, I am picking out flowers that are from the One Perfect Day. I thought that adding a little bit of that peach into this would help tone down my daughter's dress because it is very dark and very red opposed to all of the rest of the other colors in the layout. I really like layouts like this because the photos, I didn't draw any of my colors from the photos, which is a good thing because now my photos aren't competing with the paper chosen, right? So the papers are very soft and very subtle. They go with the background. They go with the off-white shawl. They go with certain things, but not everything. And now the girls really pop off the page, and you can see them, and you can see what this layout is all about, basically. Even though I don't do a whole lot of journaling, I don't do any journaling on this layout. You guys should know that by now. I don't journal. I just scrapbook because I think it's fun. Not for memory keeping, honestly. I know that that's the exact opposite of why you're supposed to scrapbook. But back in the day, I know this has nothing to do with the layout or anything, but back in the day, I used to I guess they would call it junk journaling now, but things that I was into, music that I liked listening to, books that I liked reading, poems that I liked listening to. I wrote it all down. I wrote down the verses of the poems that I liked, not the whole thing, just the parts and bits and pieces that I liked. Same with songs. And of course, writing down who sang it and who wrote it and all that stuff, giving credit where credit is due. But then it became, pictures. Like I saw shoes that I liked, and I saw hairstyles that I really, liked, especially when I used to braid my own hair. I used to, not just braid it, but I used to find updos and downdos and whatever you would call them. So I had a lot of hair pictures and whatnot. And I just used to put them in my scrapbooks, right? In my journals of, things. And, you look back and go, oh my gosh, what was I thinking? Did I ever wear that hairstyle? Stuff like that. But it shows the time and it shows all that stuff. But very rarely did I ever journal about it. Very rarely did I ever write the reasoning of why did I pick this, this updo, or why did I pick this picture? Why did I like this? Was it the color? Was it this? I never wrote that down. I never journaled about any of it, but I did like the process of putting it all in the book and making it my own design. And that's the same with my scrapbooks. I really enjoy this process, but telling of the story is just really not something I want to write down. And all that stuff. I don't mind talking about the story. I love talking about the story, obviously. But writing it down is just not my thing. I don't know. I think it's just the process. So anyways, there is no wrong way to scrapbook. There is no wrong way to, to do any of this. It's do what you love. Don't make it a job. Please don't make it a job. That's all that there is to it, right? Do the part of it that you enjoy doing, and that's it. Don't make it feel like it's work. Please don't do that. All right, you guys. So that is my layout for today. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I really, truly appreciate it. I had fun creating this and trying to figure out words that I could still do with these thickers because they were my absolute favorite. Don't forget to check out Janet Fritz's channel, who is Galaxy Girl Creations here on YouTube. She is my partner in crime in Kit Conspiracy, but also in all things. She's my partner in crime in the classes that we do, the retreats that we take, all that stuff. She is my go-to foundation when it comes to all of this kind of stuff. She is my person. All right, you guys, again, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I really, truly appreciate it, and I will check you guys all later. Bye.